Yo, hold up. Jayda Cheaves didn't just catch hands with Lil Baby's ex one time. Nah, not 2 times either. 3 times. That's not beef anymore. That's a full-on terror campaign, and the receipts just dropped in the most public way possible. And on the other side of the internet, Sexyy Red just publicly humiliated Megan Thee Stallion using Kamala Harris as a weapon, and Meg ain't even blinked. Emily Huff really thought staying quiet this long was gonna save her, and Sexyy Red really woke up and chose the dumbest war she could possibly pick. Brew, these girls really signed their own LS today. Before we get into it, like, subscribe, don't miss it. Nah. Jayda Cheaves, aka Jada Wayda, Lil Baby's baby mama, got publicly blasted by Emily Huff, Baby's ex-girlfriend, who claims Jada has physically jumped her 3 separate times over the years, with the latest episode popping off at an Atlanta nightclub this month. Emily dropped the allegation on Instagram, responding to Jada's Lent-inspired IG Live rant about people making things up. Meanwhile, over in STL, Sexyy Red reshared a viral Facebook post on April 23rd, 2026, blaming Megan Thee Stallion twerking for Kamala Harris losing the 2024 election, and co-signed it. Both of these women really thought nobody would screenshot. Let's get into the receipts that buried him. Alright y'all, let me walk you through this quote by quote, because the evidence is loud. On her Instagram Live after the viral club footage went international, Jada Cheaves hit us with this Lent-themed monologue, and I quote, "I can genuinely say that Lent was so necessary because it has mentally prepared me to be able to take the things that has been going on lately without no remorse, without feeling anything or caring about anything. Truly, like truly, when people don't like you, how they will just run with things. They'll still see something and just make up something else. I'm a realist. I go off what I'm shown." When I heard this, brew, I was like, what? You out here choking out people in clubs and quoting scripture in the same breath? That's the most audacious flex I've heard this year. Bro said what? That Sunday school meets World Star in one live. Then Emily Huff, who stayed quiet for years while people slandered her, finally said enough. Responding directly to Jada's Lent sermon, Emily clapped back with, "I don't know what God she worships, but not my God. So God also told her it was okay to jump me 3 times. Yo, when I read that, I had to do a double take. 3 times. That's not a fallout, that's a pattern of behavior. That's when I said, nah, this is different. And the club video, the surveillance cam footage that leaked, witnesses and caption holders noted, Jayda Cheaves is seen walking up to a woman, allegedly her ex-best friend Emily Huff, who allegedly was involved with Jada's child's father. And then Emily swung first. Now why would she swing first unless she already knew what was coming? That's not random aggression. That's PTSD kicking in. Even more damning. Insiders posted, "I'm hearing Jada and Destio allegedly jumped on Emily while she was with 2 men. The men reportedly refused to get involved." A TWOON one in public, with security ultimately choking Jada out to break it up? Nah, brew, you can't swing on a girl too deep and expect people to take your Lent sermon seriously. That's where Jada lost the plot. Now switch the screen. Sexyy Red's turn. On April 23rd, 2026, a Facebook post circulated with a clip of Megan Thee Stallion's 2024 Kamala Harris rally performance captioned, "This what made Kamala Harris lose." Sexyy Red reshared it and added her own commentary. "No, for real." Just 3 words. 3 words. That's all she had to say to start World War III. When I saw that repost, I was like, you really want this smoke on a Wednesday? And this isn't isolated. Back in 2024, a fan commented on Sexyy Red's post suggesting she linked with Megan for a track. Sexyy Red replied 1 word. No. Then liked her own response. Brew, who likes their own comment? That's the energy of somebody who's been waiting years to say it. That line right there, that's where she showed her hand. And earlier that same year, on January 31st, 2024, Sexyy Red posted herself dancing with Nicki Minaj, Big Fit attached to a reel, a song that is literally a Megan Thee Stallion diss. Now you can't post yourself twerking to a diss and expect people to take you seriously when you claim there's no beef. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots, because the timing on both situations is absolutely criminal. That Lent rant dropped less than a week after the club brawl surveillance footage went viral on World Star tier pages. Jada wasn't randomly philosophical about forgiveness. She was in damage control mode because she got choked out by her own security trying to stop the fight. That's not spiritual growth. That's PR desperation. Any smart advisor would have said stay off Liv. But Jada doesn't have real advisors, clearly. And peep this, Jada and Emily's fallout traces back roughly 10 years. These two were best friends before Jada was Jada Wayda. Emily was dating Dominique Jones, aka Lil Baby, before Jada ever entered the picture. Then allegedly Jada went behind her back with him. Fast forward, Lil Baby and Jada had their son Loyal Amani in February 2019, and they've been on and off ever since, finally splitting in 2024 after years of cheating rumors, on-again, off-again drama. So you're telling me Jada has been winning Lil Baby for a decade and still feels threatened enough by Emily to terrorize her 3 times? That's the move of somebody who knows deep down that man ain't hers. That's terrible timing. Brew. And Des Dior rolling up with Jada? Des is also Lil Baby's ex, read that again. TWO of Baby's exes teaming up to jump a third ex. That's a whole baby mama ex-girlfriend coalition. Brew, the fact that Jada's main backup is a man's other ex tells you everything about the friend group dynamic here. Now flip to Sexyy Red. That repost went up the same week Megan's new album cycle is heating up and Meg's been doing nothing but winning. Brand deals, swimsuit line, tequila brand, Popeye's franchise ownership, still charting independently. Sexyy Red didn't pick April 23rd by accident. That's a jealousy strike while Meg is at an all-time high. Also remember, Sexyy Red is an open Trump supporter, and Megan performed at Kamala's rally. So this isn't just about rap, this is political. Sexyy Red picking this angle, using Kamala's loss as ammo? That's calculated. And check this, Sexyy Red's history with Megan goes back further than the big fit twerk. Insiders have alleged for years that Sexyy Red privately asked Meg for a feature, got left on red, and has been throwing shots ever since. She also made a record with Lil Baby. Yes, the same Lil Baby, around the time he was beefing with Megan. Sexyy Red literally surrounds herself with Megan's opposition, and then pretends it's coincidence. Any smart person would have waited. But Sexyy ain't smart about this. That's a move of somebody who's been waiting years to go viral off another woman's success. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Let me put my detective hat on because there's layers you'll missed. First layer, the 3 times phrasing from Emily. She didn't say she jumped me again. She didn't say she came at me multiple times. She specifically said 3. That's prosecutor language. That's somebody keeping account. You only count incidents when you've been planning to expose them eventually. Emily's been sitting on a receipts folder for years. Brew. And Jada really didn't see this coming? That's embarrassing. Second layer, Jada's Lent monologue word choice. Pay attention. Without no remorse, without feeling anything or caring about anything. That's not a confession of growth. That's a confession of coldness. She's literally telling on herself. No remorse, no feelings. That's the opposite of what Lent is supposed to teach you. Somebody who just got accused of jumping a girl 3 times doesn't need to brag about feeling nothing. That one line right there's a tell. Jada thought she was giving strength. Nah, she gave villain monologue. Third layer. In the club footage, Emily allegedly swung first when Jada approached. Forensically, that's massive. A preemptive strike means Emily read the body language, read the history, and made the calculation. She's about to attack, I'm not waiting. That's the behavior of somebody who's been attacked before. It's involuntary. It's trauma response. Jada didn't catch that, which tells you she's not reading the room. She's just reacting on ego. Now switch to Sexyy Red forensics. That one phrase, no for real, is a masterclass in subtweet architecture. She didn't caption a long paragraph. She didn't at Meg. She didn't make a diss video. She used a minimum amount of words to maximize deniability. That's intentional. That's, I can delete this and pretend it was a joke framing. And guess what? Reports say if you go on her Facebook right now and look for the post, it's going to be gone because she deleted it. The delete is a confession. People who stand on their words don't scrub evidence. Sexyy Red thought that line was slick. Nah. Brew, the delete told on you harder than the post did. And the Big Fit twerk? That wasn't a random TikTok. The song Bigfoot is, without argument, a Nicki Minaj diss aimed directly at Megan Thee Stallion. Sexyy Red didn't post herself dancing to Anaconda or Super Freaky Girl. She specifically picked the DIS. That's like going to your enemy's funeral wearing a party dress. The choice is the message. If Sexyy Red had half a brain, she would have picked a neutral Nicki song. But she didn't, because she wanted Meg to see it. That's a problem with Sexy. She doesn't read between her OWN lines. One more. Peep the pattern. Sexy liking her OWN comment saying no to a Meg collab. That's the psychological equivalent of laughing at your own joke in a room where nobody else laughed. It's insecurity cosplaying as confidence. Megan ain't even have to respond. The self-like already gave Sexy away. Now let's see how the media covered this. And spoiler, the narratives don't match. The Jasmine brand framed Emily's blast as a former bestie putting her on blast, leaning into the soap opera betrayal angle of two old friends turning enemies over a man. That's the gossip-heavy take. But Primetimer framed the exact same story as a nightclub brawl drama explained. Sterile, legal, physical altercation energy. Same facts, two completely different emotional frames. Which one's right? They are both half right, but neither catches what we caught in Part C. The 3-count language, the preemptive swing, the villain monologue. Hot new hip-hop went even harder, calling it a feisty brawl, and leaning into the entertainment value rather than the pattern. That framing helps Jada because it makes it sound like a one-off. But remember that 3-count we talk about? That frame falls apart the second Emily's allegation drops. Over on the Sexyy Red side, Pink World Station reported it as Sexyy Red seemingly reject the idea of working with Megan Thee Stallion. The soft could just be preference spin. But other outlets framed it as Sexyy Red shut down a collab with one like aggressive, intentional, deliberate. USA Today's 2024 coverage of the Kamala rally controversy gives us the political context. Meg was already taking heat from the Trump crowd back then. Sexyy Red essentially piled on 18 months later for clout. Revolt framed Meg sympathetically as a bold cultural statement. See the divide? Conservative outlets mocked Meg, urban outlets defended her. Sexyy Red picked her lane. Now some people are saying Sexy was just sharing a meme, not starting smoke. Nah, you don't repost, add no for real, delete the post, and have a documented history of throwing shots, and call it a meme. Some Sexy fans saying this is cap, but those are the same people who thought the Big Fit Twerk was just a song. The receipts don't lie. And the media trying to spin this of both Jada and Sexy, but the pattern is undeniable. Now here's what nobody is saying about either of these stories. Mainstream outlets want to frame this as two separate catfights. Nah, this is one symptom of the same disease. And I'ma go there. Here's the real story. Both of these situations are about proximity to men with money, and insecurity disguised as independence. Let's start with Jada. That whole Lil Baby relationship, Jada isn't over him. Period. You don't co-parent this cleanly in public and fight his exes as hard in private unless you're still emotionally attached. Jada's brand is built on the Lil Baby association, her fashion line, her IG empire, her main chick crown. If Lil Baby fully moves on, Jada loses a narrative. So when Emily Huff, who predates Jada in Baby's life, starts popping up again, it's not about friendship beef, it's about Jada protecting her brand. That's why it's 3 times. That's why Des Dio, another Baby ex, is riding with her. It's not a girl gang. It's a sisterhood of women whose public identity depends on a man who isn't even with ANY them anymore. Jada is a prisoner of her own narrative, and Emily represents the door she can't close. Bro really spent Lent preaching no remorse because she knows she's gonna do it again. That's not growth. That's a confession in advance. And Lil Baby? Homebo is playing chess while all his exes play checkers with each other. He gets to sit back, post no comment energy, and watch 3 women fight for his legacy while he drops music and collects checks. That's the part nobody's addressing. The real winner in the Jada Emily Des triangle is Dominique Jones himself. These women are policing each other for a man who isn't policing himself. That's the industry playbook for decades. Biggie had it. Tupac had it. Future's whole brand is built on it. This is the same playbook that ended other women's public reputations while the man walks away unscathed. Jada is repeating a pattern she should have learned from. Now flip to Sexyy Red and Meg. Here's a forbidden truth. The industry needs a Megan Thee Stallion villain, and Sexyy Red is auditioning for the role. Meg is a nightmare for major labels right now. She's independent. She owns her masters. She owns a Popeyes franchise. She owns a liquor brand. She owns a swimsuit line. She's charting without label muscle. She's winning Grammys. She beat a legal case that the industry thought would bury her. Meg is living proof that you don't need a machine, and that terrifies every label exec who makes their money off artists being dependent. So what does the industry do? They find artists with label backing who aren't charting independently, and they weaponize them against Meg. Sexyy Red fits the bill perfectly. She's got label money. She's got TikTok virality. She's associated with Drake, who has his own unresolved issues with Meg-adjacent figures, and she's openly Trump-aligned. That's a perfect industry puppet. And let me keep it 100. Sexyy Red is rewriting her own history trying to stay relevant. She came up begging for a Meg feature, went on Twitter manifesting it. And when Meg didn't bite, suddenly Sexyy has a principled stance. Nah, brew, rejection doesn't create beef, insecurity does. Sexyy Red's whole no for real persona is manufactured, and it's falling apart. She's the old playbook of rap stress rivalry pretending to be a new voice. We've seen this before. Every generation, the industry gaslights female rappers into hating each other while their male counterparts collab freely. Lil Kim versus Foxy. Nicki versus Remy. Nicki versus Cardi. Nicki versus Meg. Now Sexyy versus Meg. It's the same playbook. And the political angle? Sexyy using Kamala's loss as a weapon against Meg is gross. That's not music industry beef. That's weaponizing a black woman's political loss to tear down another black woman's art. Sexyy Red represents the old guard that the culture is done with. Black women pulling each other down for industry clout while the machine laughs. That's Sexy's desperate attempt to stay relevant in an era where Meg is literally out here building generational wealth. Every move Sexyy makes is predictable. She's already lost. And that's a truth they won't tell you. Both Jada and Sexyy aren't villains because they are mean. They are villains because they are stuck in systems that reward women for tearing down other women. Meanwhile, Lil Baby and Meg detractors keep collecting checks. Wake up. So what happens next? Let me give you all three scenarios and you watch which one plays out. Scenario 1, the most likely outcome. Jada's gonna go back on Live within the next 2 weeks and try to clarify her Lent statement. Mark my words. She's gonna dress it up as, I was misunderstood, probably cry, probably play the single mom card. And when that happens, Emily Huff is gonna drop more receipts, screenshots, texts, maybe even another incident the public doesn't know about yet. Because Emily's been waiting years to unload this, and Jada just gave her the green light. When the next receipt drops, Jada is gonna look desperate screaming into the void. The silence from Lil Baby is gonna hurt Jada more than any of Emily's posts could. Baby ain't gonna defend her publicly because he knows the truth. Same for Sexyy Red. Within weeks, she's gonna post something like, I was joking, y'all can't take a joke, and then like another comment calling Megan washed. She's gonna escalate because silence is killing her numbers. And when that happens, the girls picking side narrative is gonna force other rappers to pick teams, and Sexyy is gonna find out real quick that most of the industry won't ride with her against Meg, because Meg's lawyers scare people more than Sexy's label does. Scenario 2, the alternative path. If Jada actually goes quiet and lets this die, Emily wins by default. The 3 times allegation becomes canon. Every Jada blog post for the next 5 years is gonna mention it. The brand takes a slow, permanent hit. And if Meg decides to actually respond to Sexyy Red on wax, it's over. We saw what Meg did to Tory Lanez. We saw his. Sexyy Red is not ready for what's coming if Meg treats this seriously. Meg can bury careers with 16 bars. Sexyy Red's catalog can't survive a hiss too. If Meg hits her with a Southside royalty freestyle level verse applied to this moment, Sexy's TikTok numbers won't save her because Meg will have pushed her permanently into villain status, which is the ONE slot Nicki already occupies. There's no room for a backup villain in rap right now. Scenario 3, the industry impact. Looking at the bigger picture, this is the moment the culture starts pushing back on manufactured female rapper wars. Fans are tired. Every time 2 women rappers feud, the stream spike and the labels cash in. But Gen Z is reading through it faster than the industry expects. 5 years from now, people are gonna look back at April 2026 as the moment Sexyy Red's relevance died, the moment she stopped being the next big thing and started being the girl who couldn't let Meg's success breathe. Her feature requests are gonna slow down. Her brand deals are gonna get weirder. And when the next female rap star rises in 2027 or 2028, Sexyy Red is gonna be watching the culture move on without her, and there's nothing she can do about it. Same for Jada. The influencer era of rapper Baby Mama's main character is fading fast. Women are tired of being defined by who they're pregnant by. Jada keeps fighting exes like it's 2019. The culture has moved past a narrative. Her Lent live is gonna age like milk. 5 years from now, that video is gonna be the meme of the decade, right next to no remorse, no feelings. She's watching her own relevance expire in real time and doesn't even see it. Whatever happens, whether Emily keeps posting, whether Meg claps back, whether the media finally calls out the pattern, one thing's clear. Both Jada and Sexyy Red already lost the moment they thought the internet wouldn't screenshot everything. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you want more truth bombs like this, click on one of these videos next. Trust me, you'll want to see what we found.